Good morning, everybody. Now, the Johnson regime's scheme to try to discourage migrants from coming across the channel illegally in dinghies by sending them to Rwanda has become a complete and utter failure, as I said it would be at the beginning. So there were 11 days when there were no crossings, but that wasn't because of the scheme. It was because the weather was particularly bad for this time of year. But now the weather is better since Bank Holiday Monday. Then it started up again. The crossings have started, and 300 people, mostly military-age men, came across the channel in dinghies illegally on Bank Holiday Monday, and that's continued since then. So far this year, 7,000 people approximately have crossed the channel illegally, and so we're on course for 100,000 to cross this year if nothing is done. Now, the reason the Rwanda scheme is a total failure is because there's not enough money in it to send everybody who comes across the channel to Rwanda. There's only enough money for 1,000 people in total. Which means if you've got 100,000 people coming across in a year, and there's already been 40,000 come over in the last 3 years who are still in the UK, then the vast majority, over 99% of people who come, will not be sent to Rwanda. So if I were one of them and I wanted to get to the UK, I can completely understand why people want to do it. I would take my chances because there's only a 1% chance that someone is going to actually put you on a plane to Rwanda. There's a 99% chance that you'll get to stay in the UK with all the benefits that everybody else has had, hotel, benefits, welfare, healthcare, etc. You can bring the rest of your family over once you get settled. You get your papers. You can eventually get a job and get work. So it's a very, very good deal for migrants who want to come over. It's not such a good deal for migrants to go to Saudi Arabia. So they don't go there, they come to the UK. While we have this wonderful offer for migrants who come here illegally, they're going to keep on coming. So that's one side of the story. And the whole Rwanda fiasco was just a bit of fake red meat before the local elections to try to get Tory core voters to vote for Johnson because he wants to be seen to be doing something when actually he isn't doing anything at all. But the scheme and the plan has been exposed as a total failure, as just a PR exercise, which is what it is. If he really wants to stop things from happening for the illegal crossings across the channel, what he needs to do is what Australia is doing, what Greece is doing, is stopping the boats from getting into British waters in the first place, pushing them and towing them back to France, and then the crossings will stop. If we do that for a few days or a few weeks, yeah, I'm sure some people will be up in arms, the human rights lawyers who won't be making any money, and so on. The French police, the French government, Macron, they'll make a lot of noise because they don't want migrants to stay in the north of France. They're happy to wave them through, which is why they've taken 55 million quid over the last couple of years from the UK and have done absolutely nothing to stop the boats from leaving the beaches of France. In fact, the French Navy on many occasions is accompanying the dinghies from the beaches of France into British waters, where they then meet boats from the border force and get picked up and brought to Dover. And the RNLI also seems to bring in a lot of people, which they find in the middle of the channel as well. So this is all going on, and while that continues to go on, nothing is going to change. It's all just a farce and a facade. But beyond that, the number of people coming across the channel illegally is dwarfed by the number of people coming in legally with new schemes that the government has implemented for people to work legally in the country, which is all part of the UN's Global Migration Compact, which aims to make illegal, what they call irregular migration, legal and regularized and normalized. So we have all kinds of new schemes that the Johnson regime has brought in recently so that people can come from other parts of the world to works in seasonal jobs, in key worker jobs and so on, rather than doing the hard work which needs to be done of training our own young people to do the jobs that need to be done in this country. So Johnson, the Tories, the fake Conservatives have been in power for 12 years and they've created the problem. It started with Tony Blair, of course, and Blair and Brown in power for, was it 11 years? I think 11 years? No, 13 years they were in power, 97 to 2010, 13 years. So the Tories have been in power now nearly as long as Blair and Brown and New Labour. So they started the mass immigration off, went up from about 30,000 a year, which is normal and manageable, up to 150,000 odd a year net migration. But under the Tories, it's gone up to 300,000 or more net migration, net immigration every year. So the Tories, the fake Conservatives, are actually worse than New Labour. So there's no difference between Labour and Tory. What they say, they say different things, but the end result is exactly the same. You're getting the same mass migration from both Labour and Tory. They pretend they're going to do something about it, but everything they do is just a facade. And the mass migration goes on, whether it's illegal or whether it's legal. The pressure on public services and healthcare and education and space and housing, etc., just goes on and on and on. It's not about, keeping people out in a way. This is about not overstretching our public services, because we have a small island which is very, very densely populated and simply can't cope with hundreds of thousands of people coming to the UK every year, which is going to continue putting more and more pressure onto public services, which are already overpressurized. It's a simple case of maths and common sense. It simply can't go on without something breaking somewhere. And the system is already creaking and breaking up in many places because of the overpopulation. We can't keep on building houses in a small island and keep on giving over our farming land and green spaces to more and more developments everywhere. This simply just can't go on, and it's affecting all the places all over the country. So we've got to stop the mass immigration, whether it's illegal or whether it's legal, and get back to a situation of balance in immigration and emigration, so that relieves the pressure on public services and housing and green spaces and everything else in the country. That's simply why we cannot continue with mass rapid immigration. So the Rwanda scheme is just a complete facade and failure, as I said it would be, and that's no surprise whatsoever. So you know what to do when you vote. Don't vote Tory, don't vote Labour, because they're exactly the same, and you're going to keep on getting the same old with those two parties until we have a change. So that's why I set up the Heritage Party, because we do want low immigration and proper training for young people in this country to be able to do the jobs that need to be done, which is our heritage. We always used to do this, train people with apprenticeships and trade training, etc., to be plumbers and builders and electricians and gas fitters and carpenters, IT professionals now, and so on. We need that too. We're just simply not doing it, and we need to do that and completely change course. These two things are all these many things I've spoken about are all interrelated, and so we need to look at this in the round and just get back to common sense. So there we go. I've spoken for nearly 10 minutes now. Finally, I will say we've got elections tomorrow. So I'm making this video the day before the local elections in England and Wales and Northern Ireland, where we got candidates in the Heritage Party's elections in Scotland as well. So please do vote for us where you can, and please join us as well so we can have more candidates standing in the local elections next year. There's local elections every year, and in the general election, which will be coming up over the next couple of years, where we need to make a challenge. Otherwise, we're just going to get the same old, and nothing will change. Okay, thank you for listening. As always, please do subscribe to my channel down here below. Give me a thumbs up if you can. And also, look at the Heritage Party. Please join us as a member, and if you join us as a member, you can stand as a candidate, and you can be the answer to your own question as to what we're going to do about this. Join us, stand as a candidate, make a challenge, change things. That's what you can do. Okay, God bless you. Have a great day.